Hello, this is Pamela McKenzie, writer for the Examiner's Healthy Food column. I'm about to begin an interview with Djehuty Ma'at-Ra. He is the owner of DHealth Store rather, and he is a naturopath and motivational speaker, and we're about to dial his number now. 1 second.
Djehuty Ma'at-Ra.
Djehuty.
Hey, I was just about to leave you a message on the other line. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you so much for making yourself available. If you don't mind, I'm recording it so I can transcribe it.
No problem. Was that you who called the first time?
Yes.
Okay, and I said hello, but I don't think you could hear me. I don't know. It's all good. You got me now.
Yes, wonderful. Not a problem at all. I was going to call you back in like a minute or so, but
Okay.
I just want to, this will probably take maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour. Do you have that much time?
It don't matter, beloved. I'm primed and ready to go, so the time really doesn't matter to me.
Awesome. So, I'll just go ahead and say here that, I am deeply honored to have an opportunity to speak with you, okay? So I learned of you about 3 years ago, maybe 3 or 2.5 years ago, just one night. It was 2 o'clock in the morning again, searching for information about a number of ailments that, that I was concerned about, not just for myself, but for a lot of friends, because I do nutritional counseling as well. So that's how I initially found you. So I thank you for, talking to me in the capacity of a journalist here.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed because, of the information to the people, and that means a lot to me. So I thank journalists, I thank people who interview me because it helps me do what I'm on planet Earth to do. So thank you, love.
And it's great. I'm just so happy that, I'm in your space in this situation. So, I'm going to give you a little bit about me, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about you in particular, maybe give me a little information about your original name and then your new name, and then just tell me a little bit about your journey. So let me just start to say that, I'm Pam McKenzie. I have a background in finance. I work for federal government, but I find that, my mission isn't being addressed if I don't do something about our community in particular when it comes to health and just having the appropriate knowledge to prevent illness. So I sort of dedicated my life the last 10 years or so into just studying natural medicine, writing for this column. I have a small company where I offer like specialized products, and then I do free nutritional counseling. And I've been doing that for about 2 to 3 years and have a degree in economics. So that's a little bit about me. Can you tell me about your name, your original name, your current name, and just a little bit about you in a timeline fashion?
Yes, I was born Ernest Cooper Jr., even though I was the second son, I was named after my father, which I'm proud of. And I believe I've carried the attributes of the name Ernest. Ernest does have Germanic origins, and it means one who is sincere, of an important nature. And that pretty much primed me my whole life when I look back on that name. And then for a brief period, I dallied with Islam, the Nation of Islam in particular, and I changed my name. I legally changed my name to Jabir Abdul Akbar.
Okay.
And it was in that name, or under that name, that I became a healer, because Jabir in Arabic means bone setter or healer. And then in 2001, I believe, about 2000, mid-2000, I kept hearing the name. I have to do a video on this because I had 3 inquiries within 24 hours about the origins of my present name, which is Djehuty Ma'at-Ra. But for a whole year, I've been hearing in my head, Djehuty. Djehuty. I kept hearing it. I was like, what is going on here for a whole year? And so it took me a whole year to realize, okay, I am Djehuty Ma'at-Ra, and I changed my name again from Jabir Abdul-Akbar to Djehuty Ma'at-Ra. And that's when the healing really took off. I just I became a healer under Jabir Akbar, and then I became a light worker under the name Djehuty Ma'at-Ra.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So in that space of time, you decided you wanted to help others and formulate herbal products. How did that come about? You can just give me a brief.
In all due honesty, I knew my life purpose, well, not consciously so, but I had a sensing of it as a little boy. Because when my brothers and sisters, neighborhood friends would get hurt, I would be the one to administer, healing aid to them, even though I was using Vaseline and toilet paper and things like that. It was still there. I was still inclined. And then after my favorite auntie committed suicide in 1976, I remember going out in the backyard of our home in South Central Los Angeles and looking up to the heavens and saying, God, when I get older, I want to help people. I want to be there to listen to people, because I found out my auntie was depressed, didn't have anyone to talk to, and she killed herself. So as a little boy, I didn't understand that. Like, I don't understand how people could not be there to listen to another person. So when I grow older, I just get up in age, I'm going to be there to listen to people and to talk to people. And I said that at age 6. It helped being a radical person. It helped, being the black sheep of the family. It just helped knowing things were not right and being true to that, saying that I'm going to do my own thing because this is just not right. And I know I'm going against the grain. I'm going against the crowd. I knew it, but I was just bold like that. And that's what led me to the Nation of Islam for a while. I got what I could get out of that, saw a lot that I didn't like or that I felt was wrong in that. Moved on, got into the Afrocentric community in the mid-90s, got what I could get from that. But in that time, beloved, I was always doing my own personal research. I live in a library. I purchased thousands upon thousands of dollars of books. I was always studying from conspiracy, political conspiracy, the legal issues, goddess studies, feminism, African-American history, African history. I studied so much. And I would say around 1999, that was the year my mother succumbed to pancreatic cancer. 2 years prior, I got into health. I would say health, for the most part, kind of started for me in 1994. My father was stricken with cancer. He succumbed in October of 1994. So from 1995, 96, I began to study biology. And then 2 years later, I got into health and herbs, and it was a wrap. And by 1999, I was ready to go public, and I went public with my first company, Athea Herbaceuticals, and the rest has been history.
That's beautiful. And when you go public, did you go officially public, or you mean essentially just basically opening your company?
Officially public and opening my company because, like I said, from 95, 96, it was research, and I was experimenting with herbs, but I was taking I healed myself from bronchial asthma, self-experimenting on myself.
Right.
I did that around 1996, 97, around that period there.
Okay.
And then it was after that, once it hit me that, wow, okay, if I can heal myself bronchial asthma, which means that I made some herbs that benefited my lungs, it just clicked that, the same thing can happen for blood, for the liver, for the colon. It just took off, and I experimented, and I started letting my wife and her family experiment with the herbs and her friends, then some of my friends, and all the results were just, mind-boggling. The people just swore by this stuff here. And so in 1999, November to be exact, that's when I went public with my full-body detox and some of my individual herbal formulations. And like I said, the rest was history. I didn't get on the internet until about 2003. Okay, I started my business in 1999.
Okay.
From 1999 to 2003, the word spread so much from the people that I used to have celebrities come into my little small apartment to see me for health advice and to purchase my products. And I'm talking, about luminaries, Stevie Wonder, Brandy, Shamar Moore, Darren Henson, Boris Kojo. And I didn't have the internet. I was just doing business by telephone. That's how big this thing got.
Yeah, and I'm sure that didn't shock you because, when you are on your path, it's almost like, it's the fastest communication. Forget internet. I mean, the communication happens so quickly.
All I have to do was go downstairs to my mailbox. That's how I was making my money. I was working a corporate job. I didn't retire from corporate America until March 23rd, 2001. I know that day because it's my mother's birthday.
Okay. So what were you doing in corporate America?
You said what's that, beloved?
What were you doing? What was your career?
I was working for an investigation agency for the automobile insurance industry.
Okay.
Stein Investigation Agency. And I was there for about a good 7 years, and I was pretty much a factotum. I've always been like a great worker. I'm a Taurus, so very laborious and very persistent in getting things done. So I was pretty much a factotum. These people trusted me with everything. I would go to those law firms. I would commune with the attorneys. I would drop off files, pick up files. I did accounts payable, receivable. I did so much. I did everything. And those people did not want to see me leave, and they wanted me to work part-time because I told them, because at first it was like, wow, you're really into these herbs and everything, but, herbs is kind of like guarantee, you have a great job here, a future here. And I'm like, no. I know what's in my heart. And, people would tease and make jokes and things like that, but, I have Mars and Gemini, astrologically speaking, so I'm very quick-witted, and these people taught me so much as far as like my comebacks and things. By March of 2001, I knew that I couldn't last another week, and I didn't quit. I retired. I retired from corporate America. I'm never going back to corporate America. I retired.
Good for you. I haven't gotten there yet. That's great. But here's another question. So I know a little bit about your family. You do talk about your immediate family, but could you tell me about your family? How many children do you have? And is your wife from California? And how did that happen?
Yes. I have 6 children. 5 are biological. 1 is from her previous union. I had 2 from my previous union, and we have 3 together. I met my wife. This is a very magical story because, you don't really find a lot of men and you don't find a lot of African-American men who believe in fairy tales and fantasies and things like that. But as a mental scientist, I do because, it just went back to the power of the mind because the mind, the subconscious mind, just like the universe, doesn't know the difference between that which is contrived, right, or that which is actual. And that blew me away there, I was going to get whatever I could, conjure up in my mind.
Right.
And I wanted the ultimate wife. I wanted the ultimate marriage. I wanted the ultimate family. And I could get it all through development and use of my mind. And I went through a very ugly divorce in 2002 with my first wife.
Yeah.
It took me a couple of years to heal myself, chakra balancing, meditation, and things like that. Pretty much locked myself up again. I've had 2 periods in my life where I went celibate for 4-year periods, So in a 12-year period, I was celibate 8 of those years. And in those years, I just locked myself off from the world and purchased books and videos, educational videos, and I studied and I worked on myself. I enhanced my vocabulary and I worked on my diet and just did all those things. So that happened again in 2002. So from 2002 to late 2005, almost 2006, I was celibate and working on myself. And I was actually healing myself from the heart. I had to work on my heart, the 4th chakra. So around 2004, I heard again, you're ready for love. But I was like, no, I'm not. And I kept hearing, you're ready for love. I would consult my astrology books. You are ready for love. One day I went to see my daughter, my ex-wife. She just came out of nowhere like, I would like to talk. And I said, about what? She's like, about us getting together. It's like she was just stricken. I was like, oh, my goodness. So it put chills on my body, like, snap. And I kept denying it even after that. But then one day I woke up, beloved, and I said, you know what? I am ready for love. I opened the door, you know. And I was priming myself, too, because I was watching movies like When Harry Met Sally and Michael. I was watching movies dealing with love. But then the ultimate movie was Xanadu. And it was like, you got to believe, you know. And I had to believe in love again, like real love. And when I did that and put that in the universe, lo and behold, the young lady I was talking to invited me to her church to give a lecture. I went out there in June of 2005, and it was platonic. I wasn't attracted to her, what have you, but something happened, and by September, we knew that we were soulmates, and we just officialized it without, you know, dating, without having sexual intercourse. We knew it in spirit, and in November of 2005, we consummated, and we've been married ever since.
That is absolutely beautiful. I think you might want to write a book on that because folks need those examples.
It's called The Love Manual. It's in my Love Manual.
Okay, The Love Manual. Okay, I've written that down. Okay, that's awesome.
The Manual is the ebook, and I sell it on my site. But yes, there's no one in the world I cannot cover that story at how the wife and I hooked up.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to take a personal note for that one and probably purchase that manual, but also put it out there in the universe as possible. So also now, you know, it's like amazing to see your conviction. You have stone hard conviction, and I'm curious. I'm like, where did it come from? I mean, did you grow up Catholic, Pentecostal, were you Baptist, or you just feel that, you know, just basically it being your mission and your in this particular life. Your time here on earth is simply your time and your purpose. But what would you say did it for you?
I know it was something I was born with, you know. It had to be, you know, cracked open, and, you know, I can't deny religious studies. I'm not religious, but I can't deny the religious studies and how the religious studies helped me, especially Islam, especially the brand of Islam is talked about, like the Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. It pretty much just refined it, but it was something I was born with. We're always, all of us, you know, anytime we have, you know, something about ourselves, a gift, what have you, we're born with it. Mm-hmm. And we may go through man-made institutions and religions. All they can do is polish it.
Right.
Or get us ready to claim it and to live upon it. And I know for myself, that was the case with my religious studies, you know, be it, Hebrew, studying the Hebrew principles, Christian principles, and then ultimately Islamic principles before that gave way to Buddhist principles and Confucianist principles. I pretty much studied everything under the sun. You know, I have Neptune and Sagittarius. In astrological language, that means that it's like a caterpillar. Religion would be the caterpillar, and spirituality is the butterfly. You know, so when you have Neptune and Sagittarius in your natal chart, that means that you're going to be very religious, but you're going to graduate to spirituality. Everybody doesn't graduate to spirituality, but when you have Neptune and Sagittarius, that's pretty much, you know, the trait that signifies that, and I have that in my natal chart. You know, so I was born with it. I went through some things that polished it. I became conscious of it, and I just ran with it. So it's like second nature. I'm passionate about, you know, just about everything that's dear to my heart. And then as far as like convictions, it's no other way to live.
Yeah, I'll need to study some of that because when you say Neptune and Sagittarius, it's completely foreign to me. I understand the basic zodiac sign and the basic descriptions for each zodiac, but Neptune and Sagittarius, it goes completely above my head.
Well, it's in your natal chart, and there are some free internet sites out there like Cafe Astrology, whereby you can just punch in your date of birth, and your chart would pop up, and you would find out what sign was Neptune in at the time you were born. I was born between 4th 1970, so at that particular time, Neptune was in Sagittarius, and you know the planets are in signs and intervals of 7 years, 13 years, 19 years, what have you. So the year you were born is going to dictate what sign Neptune was in, and whatever sign it was, it means. It may be different from Neptune and Sagittarius, but it means something, and it's always positive as well, too. And that also helps us to learn more about ourselves, especially pertaining to our personality. Okay, we have two personalities. We have the inner personality, and then we also have the personality predicated upon our life experiences. But it's that inner personality, that blueprint, that zodiac blueprint, that's the ultimate personality.
Okay. Do you consider yourself an empath, or how do you feel about an empathetic spirit?
Oh, man, I really came into the realization of that in 2005. I know we don't have much time, but it's so many things that happened to me that, of a paranormal nature. It freaks a lot of people out, but because I've worked so hard to establish myself, a lot of people now are really, opening up, to the paranormal realm and, multi or interdimensional realms and things like that. But some things happened to me, beloved, starting in like 2002, that by 2005 just cracked me open, and I realized, like, wow, it's like I'm empathic, I'm partial psychic. I mean, I started having prophetic dreams and things like that. So empath, without a doubt.
Let's move on to talking about your products. I mean, they're awesome. Your website, and I know you're no longer DHerbs, but that's what I found originally. And I found so much information, I could not believe it. I sat up and read all night long, and then I started telling all my friends, and a lot of folks have done the full body cleanse as a result of me running my mouth. So now, most purveyors of nutritional products, they focus on vitamins, minerals, and new wave products and the stuff that, the sexy stuff or what have you. But I noticed you have a very strong position for herbal products and herbal formulations. Can you tell us why? Is that something to do with the fact that we're talking whole food versus fragments? Or
yes, without a doubt, because nature doesn't produce anything in isolated form. If it does, let me say this: nature does not, and she would never. For if she did, there would be no life on Earth. We'd be dead, because you remove the nitrogen from oxygen, we'd be dead.
Right.
You're not going to find anything fragmented or isolated in nature. Nature deals with whole. The word heal goes back to the word whole.
Okay,
so if we want to heal ourselves, we have to actually go back to whole foods. So when you're dealing with whole foods have nothing in isolation. It's stable, what I'm saying? It has numerous nutrients. There's never just one nutrient. You can't eat an orange and just get vitamin C.
Right.
That's just it. Nature doesn't do that. Nature gives you vitamin C, gives you calcium, potassium, magnesium, vitamin B,
right.
Amino acids. It gives you everything you need. So when you understand the herbs as compared to these supplements on the market, you find out, wait a minute, the herb is the plant. Okay, the plant is holistic, in nutrition. Whereas when you do with man and man supplements, man will sell you vitamin C by itself. And the trick thing about it is it's not even vitamin C, it's ascorbic acid, because the ingredient list on the bottle always tell you what you're taking. So if you're taking vitamin C, the ingredient should say vitamin C derived from the following foods, because our nutrition should be food-based.
Right.
So when you turn that bottle around and it says ingredients, ascorbic acid, you are taking ascorbic acid, and there is no ascorbic acid plant in nature.
Okay, so, Linus Pauling, what did he do his research with? Was that ascorbic acid, or did he try rose hips or something?
Ascorbic acid.
Okay, he did. Okay.
Ascorbic acid.
Yeah.
You have ascorbate, which is found in nature, but ascorbic acid is a chemical.
Okay.
So we have some great researchers out there, but even some of them miss the mark pertaining to nature, because if you're not experimenting with rose hips, hibiscus, and things like that, then you're going to come up short. But I understand why you don't have a lot of the scientists dealing with the herbs because they can't be patented. Okay?
Right.
So who's financing the researchers? Okay? Researchers are looking to invest in something that they can get a cut out of, right, if it takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody's going to invest in the herb because you can't patent the herb. So most research is not done with plants; it's done with chemicals.
Right. So the plant, you can't own something already created by the earth, and thank God most people are figuring it out. They know that this is why there's so much research and so much buzz about patented medicine. Thank God they're waking up.
Yeah. People are waking up.
Yeah,
I got a couple of videos to do on that because, I just blast. I just hit the solar plate. I have no time for faking the funk. It's like
That's
people,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Time is moving, guys. It's like you're not getting younger. You got to claim your destiny. You got to deal with some ugly stuff.
Yeah.
Deal with the truth and move forward. Okay, you have to trust nature. We have to go back to nature.
Yeah, I totally agree because really, I had a stress ailment back in 1998. I was only 18. I'm dating myself here. And I was just energetic person. I wanted to accomplish everything. I was singing background. I was going to college. I had this demanding boyfriend. I was working full time. And then my whole system just shut down. And basically, I knew nothing about nutrition. But that's what really kind of made me say, Pam, you're responsible for this, so you need to undo it. And that was the beginning of my journey, but that's a longer story, and this is your time. But I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between like mainstream herbal products and your products? Because I know then that's the next level down. I mean, your herbs are different. I know your capsule not gelatin-based, and I'd like to know more about the herbal content. Like, why is your red clover, for example, a lot more powerful and more fresh, or whatever the term you might call it? Why is it better than the average?
Because, see, I'm always going to give you the best for less, okay? That's DHealthStore.com's motto, because it's my personal motto, the best for less. I believe that people should always have the best. And I can't fake the funk. I can't know the truth and then not give it to you, okay? So when you're dealing with herbs here, right, the commercial grade herb versus, say, my herb, it's going to be a big difference because I'm not into saving money. I'm into giving you what you need so that you can get better, so that you can improve your lot in life, especially in the field of health. Well, commercial companies, it's all about profits to them. So they're not going to give you 100% red clover or 100% red raspberry. They're not going to do it. They're going to mix it in with silica. Okay? They're going to mix it in with some type of fibrous A, what have you. They're going to cut it.
I see.
Okay? You maybe get 60% red clover, 40% sawdust, fiber, silica, magnesium stearate, what have you. I'm giving you 100% plant herb.
Okay.
In a vegan capsule, because I don't believe in man using anything from the animals. I don't like, how man eats the animals and makes a whole industry off of animal byproducts. So when you understand that gelatin is derived from horses and cows and pigs, and so that goes against a certain belief of mine. So I'm not going to use anything that comes from an animal, and gelatin does. Okay, number one.
Right.
Number two, gelatin does not dissolve at the rate of 100%, as do vegetable cellulose capsules.
Okay, so that's what it is. It's cellulose.
The animals, but then also too, I need you to get 100% digestion, absorption, and assimilation of the herb. And that's what the vegan capsules allow in the human body, whereas gelatin doesn't.
Okay, so it's cellulose. That's great. I mean, I was wondering, I was like, how does he do this? So, so let me ask you this, though. The guys that are currently operating the herbs, are they still using the gelatin? I mean, I'm sorry, the cellulose capsule?
Wow, I get so many inquiries on those guys there. All I would say is I really hope that they are, because I got an email from someone yesterday, and she let me read it, and it's like, wow, I mean, that company has, it's just really devolving, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's unfortunate because, they're learning the hard way what the D and D herb stood for. It's like everybody in the world knew except for them. And so if I step away, I give these guys an opportunity to do their thing. I mean, you had 7 years up under me, and you would think that they would be able to manage, but you know what? It's being revealed that it was just not in the heart. Like the Bible says, Jesus says the disciples will fast when I'm no longer there. That's just how it is, So they're really going through that period there where the soul is gone, and now they have to, they really have to show what they're about, and they're not doing a good job at it, So I hope those guys are still using the vegan capsules. I really don't know because I left in July, and so I took all my products. I took everything to Djehuty Ma'at-Ra. The articles are still up there, even though they removed my name.
Yeah.
That's so people can get the knowledge. But I'm building a new website for DHealthStore.com whereby I have 700 old articles, and I have about 55 new articles that I haven't even revealed yet. So you will have the new articles as well as the old articles on the new DHealthStore.com website. And I mean, it's just going to be off the chain because my new information is more predicated upon the spiritual and metaphysical.
Okay.
Whereas in the past, I was kind of raw, doing some mundane type of thing, but it still helped a lot of people open their eyes. But where I'm at now, where I'm about to go, is just going to be off the chain. And that information is only going to be available at DHealthStore.com.
Okay.
But it is unfortunate to hear all the things that I hear about the former business and, just how it's going down, And I always knew those guys didn't have it like me. I mean, because they pretty much work for me. They did administration, phone calls, shipping, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And, of course, I was the brain of the operation. I was the image, the spokesperson, and all of that. I mean, I was the soul of D-Herbs, but what happens is you can start making so much money that, you kind of lose sight of the mission. And that's something that would never happen to me. I put that out there to the universe, God always protect me, never let money corrupt me. That's why when I was 19, I made this conscious, it wasn't a prayer, but I just constantly spoke to God and said, I don't want money until, I said, give me like 20 years before I get some money. And I think I said this around age 19 or 20 because, it was all about the dope, the dudes were selling dope and it was getting the cars and the fine women. And I saw the trend. I knew where that was going to end.
Right.
And that didn't move me.
Yeah.
I said, God, don't let me get no money until I put a head on my shoulder. I need some sense in my head.
That's right.
And it didn't take 20 years. It took 15 years. So by 2005, that's when D-Herbs began to make some money and my life began to change. And by 2008, that was the first year D-Herbs went multi-million after I was on the Warren Ballantine show for 15 minutes. And that right there changed the history of D-Herbs, and it also changed my life as well.
Well, let's go back to the D-Herbs again. Now, you had about how many people working with you? I noticed you mentioned AD on some of your videos. AD was your main partner that you started with, right?
Right. My man, Amon Dolphin and Jamel Dolphin.
Okay.
It was just us, and then AD's girlfriend, Katarina Hodgkova.
Okay.
She came on board, and then, we had some people that came and went, but, when we really set D-Herbs up, like in 2006, 2007, there was Samantha, there was Corey, there was Fatima, then Kimmy came along, and then Tanya. So, we had about 8 employees.
Yeah.
D-Herbs.
Yeah, and I do remember that, and I was like, this is great, and, however the universe sees fit, but, it'd be great if they could figure it out. And bring the soul back and figure out the direction because they're going to lose. They're going to lose.
They're without a doubt going to lose. But you know what? The heart is not right. And I go with AD. I said AD because AD is really a good person. He just got out of blocks.
Okay.
You know, and I told him, I said, brother, if you don't get your life together, you're going to lose everything. Because he, too, has Saturn and Taurus. I have Saturn and Taurus, so we have great work ethic. But that brother had too many financial problems, too much fears. And so he actually got his fear. I mean, a lot of people don't know that a lot of what happened with the universe giving everybody their desires. You know, my desire was just have this ultimate freedom because I'm a wild, crazy person when it comes to business. That's my success.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm going to do some things, right, you know, from the world, like I study business, I study corporate law. I love to study. So I got that mundane business thing master, but I got that new age business model master where you use the universal law and you think big and you dream and you do different things and you don't follow other people and you a trendsetter. That is me. And that scared the hell out of my DHealth partners. I mean, there are so many arguments. Hey, man, we're going to lose all the money, man. What if it don't work? Well, what if it does work, man? Think positive. It is draining meeting after meeting to have to pump people up because they will not take the time to work on self as I did. You see, so there were a lot of variables that led to the breakup of DHealth, so I don't regret it a single day. I'm at the peak my existence in business on planet Earth right now. Jupiter and Taurus has been in there for since June. It's going to be in there for a whole year.
Yes.
And when you have Jupiter and Taurus, you have expansion of the material. And let me tell you, DHealthStore.com is where DHealth was at its height or zenith in less than 7 months. It took me 7 years to get DHealth up. And now we're talking 7 months, and DHealthStore.com is where DHealth was in its heyday. And I have 15 employees.
Oh, wow. Isn't that awesome?
Less space, 1,000 square foot facility. DHealth had a 5,500 square feet facility.
Yeah.
They moved out of it because that's the poverty consciousness.
Right.
You know, the rent was like I think the rent was like $5,500 per month. And again, when I left and AD was in charge, poverty consciousness was in charge. So they moved to a smaller building, and they're only saving $2,500 something. Now, that doesn't make sense when you're making over $100,000 every month. What are you afraid of?
Right. What are you afraid of? Well, they should have taken some of your fear elixir
by going backwards.
Well, why didn't they take your fear elixir? They should have taken that.
That's the whole thing about it. Why didn't they take a whole bunch of other things over there? You know why? The money.
The money.
Money was too good.
Yeah. Did you take all of your inventory when you left?
Without a doubt, I trademarked everything.
So that means
that's why you see the changes on both sites, where they're changing the name to Full Body Cleanse. Djehuty Ma'at-Ra does not make the Full Body Cleanse. Djehuty Ma'at-Ra makes the Full Body Detox. There's a difference.
Yes.
FBD is different from FBC.
Okay.
We have added herbs to their rendition of it, of my formula, because by law I had the trademark and the patent, so they had to change it up.
Yeah, I got the cleanse.
They don't want to tell the people the truth there. So when all these people say, hey, this stuff is not potent, it's not this, something's going on and everything, and then they come to DHealth Store and find out, whoa, Djehuti's not there, he doesn't make the herbs, DHealth won't say who's making the formulas. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. And that's another reason why they're going to go down, because I told them, you guys need to be truthful, and they won't do that because they know the majority of people purchased at DHealth because of me, and I got the emails. I don't need no emails to prove it. I'm already knowing I was a soul of it. So when people found out that I left, those people follow me, and that's why DHealth Store is doing so good so early off. Loyal supporters and customers.
Well, as mentioned in one of your questions, I think you asked me how I found out about it. And again, it was one of those nights where I'm seeking knowledge, and I was on YouTube, and there was a young lady who began to talk about, her previous experience with the herbs. And actually her caption on the YouTube said, I no longer patronize the herbs. And I'm like, wait a second. So I scrambled to look at that video. So she explained, what you've explained. And then I started searching for your explanation, and that's how I found it. But I'm really glad I know because I'm so healthy. Like my doctor goes, I'm envious of your blood, which that means nothing because doctors, but otherwise, yeah, everything's great. I'm not a vegan, but I eat mainly vegetables and, a lot of green foods and stuff, and I feel great for 42. But, maybe I can pay for a session or something. Now, are you still headquartered in California? Is that mainly where you are? Are you in any other state?
I'm in my dream city of Glendale, California, and we do plan to branch out, We're doing the dream unlimited, where there's going to be Djehuty's health stores in the major metropolitan cities of the United States, followed by the world. We want a store in the Bay Area, California, Atlanta, Georgia, which is my #1 market, New York, Chicago, everywhere, where the people are, the majority of people are. And then in London, I have a lot of customers in London, This whole thing is wow, because since I've been at DHealth Store, I answer the phone, I'm there helping. So I answer the phone, and so I talk to people from Australia and New Zealand, and Japan and Hong Kong and, the UK, and it's just wow, like, man, these are countries, man, I haven't even traveled to. And these people, got the product and got their lives changed. They read the information, and that's one thing I say about the internet. It has connected us, and to me, it's just mind-boggling because I'm doing what I always wanted to do, but I never imagined I would be doing it to this magnitude.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I'm in Maryland, and we can certainly use something like that out here. I'd imagine if I weren't a busy financial analyst by day, I'd be like begging you to allow me to support you in that, because we have GNC, Vitamin Shop, we have Whole Foods, but there's no discrimination in these places. And the prices are outrageous, and it's just like, so certainly, we would welcome, I tell you, I'll represent the entire DMV, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, and telling you that we need something out here.
Well, that's my second market out there, and I would never neglect the DMV area, because I have a lot of strong supporters out there, and there's no in the world I could do that and not put a store in the Maryland area, the Virginia area, and the D.C. area. I was just in Newport News, Virginia, in December. The love is it just gets stronger and stronger with every visit. I'm going to Atlanta in March, and I already can feel this is going to be like the ultimate lecture and visit. And because I've gone to Atlanta a few times, but there's a magic in the air, just a magic in the air, and I felt it in Virginia, and it's like it's a prime to feel it for Atlanta, and it's going to always be like that and just take off. DHealth was great, but like I said, it was a lot of limitation, a lot of restrictions. You had to explain a lot of things. It was like a lot of dead weight.
Yeah.
Going solo, it's like you can do I have an accountant that works for me, right?
Yeah.
And she's a professional, because I always wanted to hire corporate people, you know what I mean? Because I knew that I was that rare dude that was just, into the occult and divination and paranormal. I knew that. And I don't expect to find a lot of people like me. Most people, have gone to college, and they're pretty structured as far as like how they work.
Yeah.
So being a businessman, because like I said, I do study corporate law, business law, and things like that, and I know you have to fuse the two together. So I have people that work for me that came out of corporate America. I have an assistant who worked for Kaiser for 25 years. I have a Noosh who's an accountant for major firms, and so I always wanted to take the best from corporate America and bring them on over to the spiritpreneur side, and that's exactly what I've done. So I have one named Noosh who's an accountant, and she just told me the other day, she said, Mr. D, she called me Mr. D. She said, Mr. D, she said, no, I told her, I said, Noosh, I don't do business like everybody else. And she said, I know, I've acknowledged that.
Right.
But she said, is responsible for your success. And she doesn't understand everything, but she sees the success.
No, it's great. I'm sure that they feel great to be in your space, and I'm sure you'll change some things in them. That's just how it works. And
over time, I'm the staff. I mean, like, it's only been up 7 months, and again, I mean, these people have made the changes. I mean, these people come out of the Western medical world. You know, one is even married to a doctor, you know, but I'm doing something different. And, you know, I'm not necessarily, like, condemning their occupations or former occupations. I'm just offering them something different. And they all love to be there. Now, I never work with people who love to be at the job. I'm talking about the whole staff, you know what I'm saying? We want to be there. I mean, like, right now, it's such a small facility, but we're getting so many orders. We're getting, like, hundreds of orders per day. Well, you got people who actually spend the night. So to me, it's like, you know, I can't find any words to describe that dedication there. To spend the night, overnight, you're going to bring some clothes and stay overnight just to, you know, work. I've never experienced anything like that.
That's love.
Without a doubt. I mean, this is my friend Asa, he said, Djehuty, I've seen you with Athea, I've seen you with Djehuty's Herbal Products, I've seen you with D-Herbs, and I've seen you with Trinity, and I see you with DHealth Store. He said, brother, this is the team, and you know what, Pam? I know it. This is a great team of people experienced from the corporate world, and they're going to use it in the world of spirituality. And that's why I promote spiritualpreneurism. These are people who are entrepreneurs, but they live a spiritual existence, and they infuse, you know, spiritualism or spirituality with business. Yeah, what a unique business. It's a business that has a heart.
Yeah, we're going to keep praying that, you know, it maintains that structure and just, you know, just seeing positive images, because it's important. We have to have this core and have somewhere to go to. It's kind of like having a church to go to. I mean, I know maybe it's so organized, but if you know what I mean, it's somewhere to go. Even if sometimes I'm just in a bad mood and I want to go to your site and read about hope. I mean, it's really that significant, and that's truly why you're being blessed and things are happening so quick. I mean, I know that. Now, I want to ask you about some success stories. Has there been any success stories for, like, HIV, high blood pressure, you know, depression, HSV?
The testimonies are still at the old site. I mean, it's about 150-something pages. It's still there.
Of cures.
Your site, you know. I mean, I have them myself. I mean, but just, you know, it would take, like, months to talk about all the success stories. Really? That's always point people to the site. You know, we had about 100, almost 200 pages of the testimonials, you know, and that made things easy for me, because first I was the one walking around talking about my man T got healed from herpes, you know, but I'm just talking. Well, maybe he's just talking. He got something to sell, what have you. But, you know, you create this testimonial page and let people write in their own testimony, it's going to blow you away.
It's going to blow you away.
Well, for herpes, AIDS, like I tell people, I've pretty much seen it all. I spoke to a dude on the phone yesterday. Man, my spine is messed up. The doctor said this will never happen again. I said, man, I don't want to, you can't come to me with that type of talk.
Right.
I've seen too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to tell you the greatest success story for me is pertaining to myself. When those medical doctors of the Western world told me
you're going to die,
I would have bronchial asthma for the rest of my life, even back then, age 12, I just couldn't embrace that.
Yeah, and it's obvious you don't, because you don't even hear it in your voice. I mean, you can literally hear when people have mucus issues. You don't have that.
Yes, you know, I mean, it just, I'm like, man, this don't sound right. And I would fantasize about certain gases and things like that going into my body. And it was amazing that I would have that feeling. Like, one time I was pumping gas, and, you know, I just felt like the gasoline going through my mouth. Not that it was actually gasoline, but I just felt a liquid substance going throughout my body, and it would purify my body, right? And then, lo and behold, I discovered oxygen therapy. I said, oh, this was the gas. This is why I kept, like, fantasizing about this gas saturating my body, and it was oxygen.
That's what it was.
And oxygen therapy in like the late 90s, early 2000s, it was a wrap. I mean, the herbs has already worked wonders, but the oxygen just took things to like another level. And I said, man, I mean, the herbs alone, fenugreek, mullein, and cayenne alone got rid of the bronchial asthma because it was mucus.
Right. Yeah.
Doctor never told me about mucus. I mean, you know, my mother loved me. I don't think my mother was trying to constantly kill me, but, you know, she fed me white rice and when, you know, the vegetables out of a can and meatloaf and hog maw. You know, we ate the traditional black family diet, you know, which is very acidic, you know, and, you know, I have Aries in the 6th house, which means I'm already prone to certain diseases and physical debilitations, you know, but nobody told me that I almost died because I had so much mucus in my body that, you know, my body was trying to steal water from the tissues of the lungs to save me. And that's why when you have asthma, you wheeze. You actually need water. So even though I didn't know anything as a little boy, I knew to go drink some water. And every time I drank some water, I felt better.
Yeah.
Like, man, you mean to tell me if I would have just been drinking more water instead of soda pop and Kool-Aid and all that stuff there, I wouldn't have to have suffered the way I did. I said, okay, got the lesson, boom, I'm going to share with other people who are going through the same things I went through, and it's all good. We live and we learn, as my father used to always tell me.
We live and we learn. And I was specifically wondering about lupus because, as you know, Toni Braxton has that.
Yeah, I dealt with a lot of celebs, and you know, they're no different from people who are not celebs. I mean, they're just as ignorant as you know, pertaining to diet and lifestyle.
Yeah, more so. I find more so.
It's no different. And see, the thing about myself and the celebs over the year is, you know, people say, Djehuty, how could you just come on the scene and just have all these celebs and all these other herbalists have been on the scene for all these number of years? Well, I have my reasons. Number one, I never overcharged them.
Right.
You know, when people come, you know, Stevie Wonder or Bruce, what have you, hey, how much for the detox? $100. And they would be like, you know, jilted. You would see them just, you know, like, are you serious? You know, thinking that maybe I was going to be like some of the other herbalists and say, you know, $2,000 or $50 because you got money. Yeah. I don't do business like that.
No.
So I don't care who you are. My product is priced a particular price. It don't switch predicated upon who you are. Because you are a celebrity, but your organs are not a celebrity.
That's right.
Your kidneys are not a celebrity. You know, so I never got caught up on that. So, you know, if the detox is $100 for you, it's $100 for Stevie Wonder or Bruce or Brandon, whoever else.
Right.
Number two, I always kept it real with them. See, I never said, hey, man, when's your new album coming out? Or when's your new movie? I never talked to them about Hollywood,
right?
The industry. Never.
Okay.
And they told me, like, you know, you're just so real. I don't have anybody I can talk to. I remember.
Name omitted.
Called me at 12 midnight crying. I said, what's wrong?
Oh, no.
It's just like, you know, you and your wife are the only friends I have, you know, and when you don't know them better, you're thinking that millions of people love you.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
When you're in love, it's an illusion.
Oh.
Because they don't know the real person, you know. And I was like, wow, man, it's like it's slavery for these people, man. I mean, because, you know, she always had to buy people's way. If you go to dinner, they expect her to pay and things.
Yeah.
And so, it's just my nature, you know.
Name omitted.
They would come over, let's take a walk and let's go to Jamba Juice. So I'm doing regular person type stuff, man.
Right.
But for them, they want to breathe that. They want to get out of that illusion. You know, so we walked to Jamba Juice and everything. I said, hey, what you want and everything, man? Yeah. I mean, the girl starts crying again. I'm like, what is it? You know, like nobody's ever bought me anything, you know. So they really lose a certain side of humanity, man, that a lot of us like take for granted, you know. Yeah. And I can really relate to that now because, you know, I've been given the stigma of the celebrity herbalist because I've dealt with, you know, celebs. And now with this whole DHealthStore.com thing and the YouTube videos, I mean, that's what really did it for me, man. I mean, I talk to people on the phone every day, and they, oh my God, it's Djehuty, babe, honey, it's. I'm like, what? It's crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm just Djehuty, and but that whole celebrity feeling, it's like I understand now. Like if I go to Whole Foods, it's like Djehuty. Oh, you're a guy on YouTube, Djehuty, and it's like I just want to get my food and go.
Right.
I'm not a special person. I'm just Djehuty. So I understand the Brandy, you know what I'm saying? I understand the Shamal more. I understand these people.
Well, you know, it's tough to be brave because you're being brave. I mean, you are kind of going up against the machine, and I know you know that. And you reach a lot of people, and I kind of wonder, I wonder, you know, right now what's happening, whether or not the CIA or the FBI is looking at him in particular. And I'm like praying not, hoping that.
Well, I've already had my run-ins with them.
Really? Well.
Back in 2002, I was going to see my chiropractic, and two white gentlemen, hey, flashed the badge of the FBI. I said, oh, snap, I done finally made that list.
Yeah.
Can we talk to you? I said, sure. But I was ready, though.
Wow, so you are on the list. That is something. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, I knew that way back then. They interrogated me for like 2 hours, and they most definitely dissected my mindset. But, you know,
wow.
I know for a fact that, like, I'm on the list, but I'm not a threat. Because they watch me, and they know I'm all about personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have stayed, like, in the Nation of Islam and been militaristic and, you know, and get the gat and show them where it's at and the white man this and all that stuff that a lot of people, you know, spew.
No, I think
maybe I wouldn't be on the phone right now.
Right.
But because of my message and because of the link to the universe and cosmic forces, they don't mess with me. And I told them that.
Yeah.
You know, when they had the DEA came, you know, I didn't deal with the DEA, the FDA, the FBI, I mean, agencies I never wanted to deal with, but what you run from, you run too.
No, I don't know if this is a proprietary question or not, but now your products, are they sourced from the United States or outside of the United States?
Everywhere.
Okay. So
my plants are everywhere.
Okay.
And that would make them so great. You know, I said, you know what, if I get the best blood herb from China, the best blood herb from Africa, the best blood herb from America, and just all these countries, I'm like, that means that people of all races can take these herbs here and get staggering results.
Right.
You hear about the traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda. Okay, cool. I'm going to put it all together. I want to be about humanity across the globe. That's the Sagittarius in my chart. Mm-hmm. All people. Naaman Ra told me when I was doing this was the best business advice I ever got.
Yeah.
From Brother Amun Ra, who makes Egyptian magic salve.
Oh, okay.
Located out there on the East Coast, too.
Yeah.
And he said, let me tell you, don't limit yourself to black people, brother. Serve your people, but don't limit yourself. He said, brother, don't be African. Don't limit to Kemet. He said, brother, be universal.
Yeah, because
this is advice I ever got. That was from a black man, and I'll tell you, I took that and in proverbial fashion, I ran all the way to the bank with it.
Yeah, because I mean, if you did that, then you can't be as big as you need to be to continue to support the black people. So you can't just limit that target. Now, the one thing I wanted to mention is the blood types. I don't know that you have a position on eating for blood type, but
yes, I do, and I typed an article on that.
Okay. Now, well, what do you think about?
I believe in that because the animals don't eat predicated upon blood type.
Right.
And when you tap into spirit and you tap into the blueprint of yourself, you don't need to be pricking needles and finding out your blood type in order to eat a certain food. You can use energy to dictate or find out what type of food you should be eating. You can use a pendulum to find out if the food is energetically compatible with your makeup. You don't need to prick for blood. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is some modern day stuff here.
If you're not in tune, but if you're not in tune, then like I guess you can look at the way your body responds after it's digested, something like that, maybe.
I mean, you can do things like that, but you shouldn't have to be pricked to have know your blood type to do that. A person can just simply take everything out of their diet, incorporate things back in, and see what they positively react to and see what they adversely react to and come on with their diet.
What do you think about RH negative people?
You said what now?
The other part of the blood is the blood factor, the RH negative or RH positive.
Again, and I cover that in the article. I don't deal with it because, first of all, these codes, these names have been created by man.
Right.
When you do it man, you're going to always get something faulty. I met a lady came in a DHealth Store the other day, last week, and she was trying to do the whole blood type of thing there, right? And she was eating some meat and a little dairy products, right? And this is an African-American woman. And I'm like, why are you doing that, ma'am? Well, because I'm eating based on my blood type. I said, no, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that God going to make your blood, but it ain't going to be compatible with the rest of your biology? She said, what do you mean? I said, you're black, you're African-American, you're melanite. You are lactose intolerant by nature. So you mean to tell me that God made you lactose intolerant by nature, but the blood type, disagrees with that, and so you're eating dairy products because of the blood? I said, that does not add up. And she was like, you know what, that makes so much sense. I said, first of all, who told you? She's a doctor. You can always go wrong with a man. Because even though it's my blood type, I get gassy, I get spasm. I said, Dad, who are you going to listen to?
Wow.
A doctor told you about your blood type. Now, just because he told you that you're in a particular blood type didn't mean it was true. Your blood is your blood. God knows nothing about blood types. All God knows is blood. And the blood is composed of certain substances.
Right. So now you're a vegan, right?
Vegan/raw foodist.
Okay.
Raw food last night.
Okay. Now and you know the thing is, it shows your skin is great, really smooth. I don't know your age, but your skin looks great.
Chronologically speaking, 41.
You're 41. Okay. So now you're particularly lean. Is that your natural body type, or is that due to the diet?
I've been lean my whole life. Didn't matter what I ate.
Okay, so that's just natural.
Natural. They call it raw bone. Naturally raw bone. That's what I learned from Tiana Snyder. So it didn't matter. I ate meat, meatloaf, hamburgers, quarter pounder. I ate bad just like everybody else.
Yes.
Fast metabolism. It just runs in my father's side of the family.
Isn't that something?
Don't put on weight. Lean.
That's great.
Until you overdose on the SADs, like my brothers, like my whole family was lean. My sister damn near 200 pounds now. The girl was petite. We are lean people. The Coopers were lean.
Yeah.
My brothers, and they broken up. Why? Because of drinking the beer, the wine, eating the food, the meats and everything. So it's like, last time I saw him, because I don't really communicate much with my family.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, like my sister saw me on YouTube. She said, brother, you looking good, because I haven't seen her in like years.
Yeah.
We ain't talk on the phone periodically, but it's like, wow, you looking good. And I saw my older brother at my daughter's graduation, I think a year or two ago, and he's only 1 year older than me. He's born April 4th, 1969. I said, damn, Shay. I mean, it's like, he looked like he was 63.
Jeez.
I mean, you could just see the years of rough living and lying and cheating and conniving and eating bad and just the world. You see how it zaps you of life.
Wow.
Brother, we just 1 year difference. And it's like, wow, brother, you look good, And it's like, because I've done different things, man.
Inside out.
20 years ago, it's like, man, you act like you against the family, man. You don't celebrate Christmas no more. You don't celebrate Thanksgiving, man. It's like you're too good for us. It's like, no, man, I have eyes to see, man. And I see where this particular lifestyle, which is a death style, I see where it leads to, man. So you can't go against the patterns or the cycles. So I made changes, man. So if we eat like mom and dad, what do you think is going to happen to us?
Right. No, that's absolutely
what do you think is going to happen, man? You smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, man. It's a conclusion, man, that you cannot alter. If you do these things, you're going to get the same result pursuant to the law of cause and effect. So I see that, so I made changes, and I'm bold enough to make the changes. Well, you're like, you're too good for the family. That's your perception. That's not necessarily my reality.
Right.
I just love myself.
Right.
I don't come around the family because I still love you guys. Y'all may not think that. Y'all may think I'm all in the boondocks and I'm balling and all this stuff, other stuff here. But I still love you guys, and I love you guys so much. I can't be around you guys watching you guys harm yourself under the banner that you're enjoying yourself.
Right.
Don't get down like that.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah, my heart aches for that. I can understand seeing your family members doing things, and you know it's a cumulative.
Exactly. So I don't go around because I don't want y'all to feel bad. I want y'all to have a good time. Y'all need to have a good time because the matrix is putting fire to your backside, so y'all need the weekend. Y'all need to go clubbing. Y'all need to do the family reunion. Y'all need that stuff. I don't need that stuff because my family reunion, my Christmas, my Easter, and everything that you people wait for, you live for to wait for, is every day in my life.
Now, okay, so what is well, let me ask you this. What do you think about alcohol, like wine every so often? None? People can't have any, you'd say, or?
People can have whatever they want. People can have gasoline if they want.
Well, you know what I mean, from your perspective, like what's your advice?
You know, certain people have, they are disposed, they have a proclivity to alcohol based upon astrological traits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Virgos and Pisces. You know, that's why Michael Jackson was on the drugs. You know, you know, you look at the Virgo females. You know, they are prone to drinking alcohol, and certain people have a proclivity too, based upon what they do in the matrix. Okay, because alcohol, I mean, it's called an intoxicant. Okay, I can't mess with it because I know it's called an intoxicant.
Okay.
This is what man has said. Alcohol is an intoxicant. And I'm going to look at that root word, right? Toxic.
Yeah.
And I know what toxic means. I know toxic means poisonous.
Right.
I'm just being, you're technical. You're just, you know what? Maybe I am. You know, I'm a Taurus. I'm very methodical. I'm very stern. I'm very rigid and everything, you know. But I'm going to follow nature. If it's toxic, it doesn't belong in my body. But wine, a little wine, yeah, but it's an intoxicant. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't grow wild in nature.
Yeah.
There's no rivers of wine. Wine is processed by the hands of man.
Yeah, and it's not just grapes with antioxidant either. I think people use that as well. And the thing is, when I
want antioxidant, you might as well drink some grape juice.
Right, exactly. If you're going to do that, you need that.
Well, I mean, why you let it, you know, you don't let it ferment, you know, and your stomach automatically ferments food. So if it's being fermented outside of your body, then it's processed.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a poison.
Yeah, and I feel that way for certain.
I mean, I don't tell people what to, like, you can drink some gasoline if you wanted to.
Right.
I don't tell people what to. If you ask me, Djehuty, what do you do? What's your position? Then I'll tell you. I don't mess around with wine because I know wine is processed with ether and it's processed with formaldehyde, and I know they use formaldehyde for embalming fluid. So I just be putting two and two together.
Yeah, I believe that because it makes me sick. Like, I try it, you know, just for relaxation. I'm like, I'm not digesting this stuff. So I go and get some niacin and other coenzymes and other enzymes to try and break it down. But I'm like, why do I have to do all this stuff? So, honestly, I do consume it every so often. But, you know, it's really interesting. And I'm going to ask you this. I know you say you don't want to advise anybody for the type of diet that they should have. But what about a diet that's like 75% vegetables? And maybe a little bit of hormone-free meat or something. Absolutely not, or what, you know.
It depends on fruit. If a person wants that, and it makes them happy, I say go for it. Now, the Djehuty perspective is no. I'm never going to embrace a diet predicated upon animal flesh. Okay. Because life renders life and death renders death. You cannot get life from consuming death, and those animals are dead. And the things that they do to those animals are just outright just barbaric. And you know what? You are what you eat. whether it's harmful-free, what have you, those animals still had to die. Something had to die in order for you to consume it.
Yeah, no, I feel that way. Absolutely, I agree too.
And then all the animals we're eating are female too, so it plays a role in the disrespect of females in our society. You know, if you eat meat, you are going to behave carnivorous. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you see it all in our language and everything. You know, we call women chicks. You know, chickadees. You know, we pull up to the fast food restaurant, you know, let me get 2 legs, 2 breasts, 2 thighs, and, you know, these are all body parts that we use to describe women, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there have been books that have been put out, you know, by the white feminists, and they make some solid points, you know, they really make some solid points that there's disrespect of women even in the food that we consume. I mean, because we're not consuming male animals. You know, we're consuming like 95% female creatures.
Oh, really?
They get bigger because of the estrogen.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, because, see, that's why they give them the hormones, to make them bigger. They don't get to the male animals, they get to the female animals. The females carry more meat.
I see.
But, you know, you have more meat, then, you know, it's more production, it's more profits.
More profits, yeah.
More profits, you know, so you have to look at the terms, man. This is, you know, this predatory nature, man, this sexist nature, man, it's in the lexicon, you know what I'm saying? And you see it in the society, you know. Yeah, man, we're going to pick up a little chicks, we're going to pick up a few chicks, man.
Right. Well, you know, that's the
purpose. I mean, man, it's hilarious. I love the Matrix, man. It may sound like I'm adverse to the society of America. I got to tell the truth. I mean, I really love it because it's a maze, you know. It's like a riddle, you know, and I like riddles. I have Mars and Gemini, which describes my mentality, in addition to Mercury, and I love it. It's fun. It's fun cracking the riddles. But, like, man, Tootie, they lied to us, man. They got us paying taxes. Taxes unconstitutional, man. They took away our right to travel. We got our driver's license now. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and it's fun, though, man. I mean, we consented to it. We don't do nothing to change it.
Right.
Man, it ain't right, man. You know, we're supposed to be able to get in our cars. No, man, you contracted. And you don't want to learn law.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to go to the court. You want to trust an attorney. You want to elect politicians. You want to believe in a reverend. Man, you got to have somebody outside of yourself telling you to do every damn thing. So keep your mouth shut and you consent.
Wow.
We consent. I don't want to hear nothing about corrupt politicians. We consent. We're about to get off into the election bug in November this year. We like it. Wait a minute, man. You know, it's all corrupt. It's rigged. They threw the president in there. So what? You like it. And you keep it going because if you really didn't like it, you would change it. Yeah. Because we change what we really don't like. When you really don't like a man and when you really don't like a relationship, damn it, you change it.
That's true. No, it's true. It's a matter of fear and courage, and I think a lot of us lack that, Djehuty. I do.
A lot of people do. I was on the phone with a dude yesterday, and I told my friend Gump, I said, half of my consultation with this dude was dealing with his fear. Grown man fear. You know, brother, Djehuty, the fear, the doctor. I said, brother, why you keep harping on the fear, man? I told you what to do. I know, but it's just the fear. And it's like, man, I got to make a couple of videos on fear. Do the thing you fear, and the fear will dissipate.
Is that what it is?
You gotta walk in the direction of the fear.
Okay.
Because it's an illusion. The more you walk in the direction, you're going to get knowledge, right? You're going to be like, oh, snap. You mean to tell me I've been afraid because of ignorance?
Wow.
Because knowledge is a form of experience, you see. And the experience is that ultimate teacher, you see. So people deprive themselves of the experience because they allow fear to paralyze them. Now, it's not so much fear, but what you do in response to fear.
To fear, okay.
That's the key. So that's why I love being bold and radical. And the more you like that, predicated upon intelligence, man, you're not going to be a fearful person. You're not going to be dealing with a lot of situations predicated upon fear.
Well, thank you. That's just, I mean, that speaks.
I tell people, you know, because there are some people in the Afrocentric community who are upset with myself, And I say, just because you don't hear me talk about all the racism and all this stuff there, I'm too smart to know that it doesn't exist.
Right.
I have learned how to work mental science and universal law, so I don't have it in my life. So just because I don't experience racism doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just simply learned how to change the channel to a channel that best serve and suit my needs. So I don't deal with a lot of the foolishness, the craziness, the sexism, the racism. Hell yeah, it's there, but it's not in my world.
That's awesome. That's it.
Because of my frequency. And I learned I had the choice to do that.
As
a little boy, I wanted to combat racism. Because I experienced racism when white men wouldn't hire me. They would just look up and down. And, I went through that, I always knew in my life that there was a problem, but I never knew I would actually penetrate the barrier through health. That was the one thing that united people. Even religion couldn't unite us. But that health thing, when you're sick, you're sick.
You're sick.
Somebody can help you. You ain't tripping on the color.
No.
I'd rather die. No, no, I just want my health. I want to just feel well.
Absolutely.
Whoever got it, they will listen.
Absolutely. Well, Djehuty Ma'at-Ra, this concludes our interview, but I just want to ask you, do you have any questions for me at all?
No, I would just tell you, beloved, because I can, hear and sense your spirit. I would just tell you to keep doing what you're doing, beloved. You're most definitely on your path. And I would just like to just let you know, too, that we learn in astrology that what we do in the mundane world serves a purpose for what we do in the spiritual world, meaning on a higher life purpose.
Okay.
So you deal with economy, that industry there. It may not look like it now, beloved, but it does play a role in your life, even pertaining to what you desire to do. And I'm speaking from experience.
Well, thank you for sort of confirmation with that. I really appreciate it. So I just want to let you know I send love and appreciation your way, okay? And I thank you for your time, and I pray for continued success in anything that you lead. I don't care if it's not the herb stores or whatever you do. I just pray that you continue, and I would love to maybe chat with you again soon. Before I publish the article, I will send you a draft.
Okay.
Correct.
And when you're ready, if you want that consultation on health, it's on me. Just send me an email, and I'll give you the consultation, my gift to you, and for the interview.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I could use some. I mean, I've learned a lot from you as well, and I read a lot, but I need more information, apparently.
Okay.